Hi there, my name is Colleen Markham and I am here with Hilary Harley. Welcome, Hilary.
Hi, Colleen. Great to be here with you.
So good to have you. So, Hilary, you are an author, you're a consulting astrologer, you're a Reiki master,
I am.
and you are the founder and owner of Harley Holistic Healing in Newton, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And you have a monthly astrology blog that has followers from all over the globe.
Yes. I started it several years ago, I think 2011, and it's grown steadily. And it's a monthly forecast that comes out the first of each month. So the last couple days of the prior month, around the first of the month, though.
Wow.
Telling everybody what's happening and what to expect.
Wow. How can I get access to that? Just go to your website?
Yep, my website is hilaryharley.com. Hilary has one L. Lots of people spell it with two, especially since the election last November. But six letters, each name, hilaryharley.com.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'll check that out. And so will everyone watching. I hope will check that out as well. So, Hilary, I definitely want to talk about, your astrology and what you see for us in 2018. But before we jump into that, I'd love to just hear a little bit more about your personal story.
So my grandmother used to sit me on her knee and talk to me about astrology. And my
Wow.
parents were not fans of that because they were very modern, and they said, no, we don't think that's a good idea. And so flash forward to, I was in my early 30s. I had very small children, and it was just sort of coming at me in all directions. And I started reading every book I could get my hands on. This was the mid 1990s. And I am very fortunate. We are very fortunate in the East Coast because the coastal areas tend to have a lot more metaphysical and light working groups, classes, and opportunities. So I began studying with a variety of teachers, and I still take class because astrology is a never-ending body of knowledge. And I'm very fortunate because Boston has the oldest astrology group, the National Geocosmic Council for Research. And I am a longtime member of that. So they have monthly meetings, and we go and hear speakers and take classes, and you can get certified. I mean, there's all different kinds of things. So in 2002, I began seeing clients, and that's when I opened my business.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you said your kids were young, you were in your early 30s, and you were
Yeah.
getting it from all directions. So what did that look like for you?
So my husband bought a laptop for me, and I started writing because I was trained as a journalist. And so I started writing, and the creative juices were flowing. And at the same time, I was very intensely curious about astrology, which had always sort of been there, but because I was told it was not real or it wasn't valuable, I pushed it away really hard. And so at the same time I was writing, the writing sort of was a gateway, a doorway that opened me and my heart and my consciousness to the astrology. And I just started buying one book after the other. And actually I had a series of chronic sinus infections for about a year, and I went through sinus surgery. And this is not atypical of light workers, where they have some kind of health crisis or life crisis that gives rise to this. So I'm writing, and meanwhile I'm having these chronic sinus infections, and I even went through sinus surgery, which was a failure. And so finally I went to an acupuncturist, and on her shelf she had Isabel Hickey's classic work. If you know astrology, she's one of the master works, writings in astrology, and she had Isabel Hickey's book on her shelf. And I asked to borrow it, and then the floodgates really opened.
Wow.
So Yeah. So that was in about 99, 2000. So I
Wow.
took every class, read every book I could, and started studying individually with private teachers. And it's an investment. It was like sort of like getting a master's degree.
Yeah. Yeah. And you segued into starting your own business with it.
Yes. So then my children by then were school age.
Yeah.
And so I began writing a book and seeing clients. I finished the book in 2005, 2006, and I published it. It came out 2008.
And
And
what's
I've
the
been
name of the book?
Ring of Truth.
Ring of Truth.
Yes,
Mm.
it's a novel, Dancer at the Paris Opera in 1860s. And
Wow.
she meets her past life lover, only they reconnect in 1860s Paris. So there's
I want to read it.
yeah, I have to say I've received many compliments on it, and it's available on Amazon or through my website.
Awesome. That sounds awesome. I love that period piece stuff. Like I eat that up. So that's so cool.
Yeah, it was a joy to write.
Oh, that's awesome. So you wrote that and then
So as I was writing that and publishing, I was also beginning to see clients, and I decided I was going to really develop the holistic piece of my life. Just for a lot of different reasons. And so I'd been there, done that with the book. I had published it and felt that it was time to pursue, more of the astrology and building a client base and growing my business.
wow.
Yep. And then last year, 2015, not last year, I decided to take up Reiki because it kept sort of following me around. And this is what I often tell budding light workers, is that you don't choose it, it chooses you. And you have to be at peace with that, and you can't push it away and it'll keep knocking on your door. And I think for me, what happened was that the sinus infections were a way of saying, you're pushing this away too hard and you need to be available to it. So that's, how I ended up building the astrology piece of my life. But then in terms of the Reiki master, that also kept knocking at the door and saying, this needs to come in. So I was seeing a Reiki practitioner at the time, and she ran a class for people who were already in the industry, so to speak. They were already involved in some form of light working.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So I got my Reiki master in January of 2016, and I've been seeing clients also since then. But I also volunteer at the Brigham, with Brigham and Women's, seeing patients once a week.
Reiki
Which is wonderful that, Western medicine is now embracing this.
Finally.
And right. So
it's happening slowly but surely, and people like you are part of that forefront. So thank you for all of that, because as a light worker, as somebody in her early 30s with young kids, I can completely relate to that place in your life.
Right.
And I'm grateful to you for all the trailblazing that you've done.
Thank you. I've also had many people ahead of me.
Yeah, that's the way it is, right? It's the way it works. Yeah.
On to the next.
And that's a perfect segue, because before we hopped on, we were talking about how it's not you, it's not me, it's everybody. We're all in this together. And I noticed, you're speaking this Sunday at the Healthy Living Expo.
I am.
Which is at the Hotel 1620 in Plymouth. Mm-hmm. And you will be talking about astrology and kind of giving us an overview of the year 2018 and what it has in store for us. And in your description, the first thing you said is that we are at a crossroads. So I
Yes.
was wondering if you could speak to that some more.
So the United States is coming up on what we call a Pluto return, and it takes 284 years for Pluto to go around its orbit in a chart. And so we are about 5 or 6 years from the completion of that orbit.
Wow.
And Pluto is about transformation, but in order to transform, we almost always have to dig really deep and see what is working and what is not working. So right now, Pluto is in Capricorn, and our natal, the United States natal Pluto is also in Capricorn. So Capricorn is very black and white energy. It's about structure. It's about function. Capricorn is the architect of the zodiac. So we are taking a really good look at what works in our nation, our culture, and as the collective goes, so go individual lives. So, you know, as above, so below, and vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, what we are feeling, you know, this works in our life, this does not work in our life, and we have to overturn and get rid of and purge what doesn't work. And so that's what we're doing. Right now as a collective, we're really we're at the beginning stages of it. You know, we're really in the throes of having a hard look in the mirror. It's basically a dark night of the soul for our country. And, you know, that's why there's so much division and so much divisiveness, because Capricorn is polarities. It's literally black and white. It's not a lot of gray. And so it can be very polarizing energy. So we also find that in our own lives as well.
Wow.
So I don't know if that answers your question or.
It does. What would you say for those of us who are really feeling this energy? And, you know I have a group on Facebook that I moderate, and just the other day I was like, is it just me, or is life just dialed up to 11 lately? It's just, and it's not all negative, you know, as much as like the media would like us to think. There's a lot of incredibly positive things happening, like this, the fact that we can meet like this and share this, and technology, the way how far it's come. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of anxiety. So
right. So with change and with self-examination comes fear. And no one likes change. But to know that we are always, always, always held and supported, and to remember that, to try to put that first in our minds and our hearts when we go through our day, because we're absolutely supported. And fear, I'm sure you've probably heard, it's false evidence appearing real. And it really is very true, because you know, we know what facts are, and you know, the whole fake news thing, there is a large thrust and picture in this composite that we're looking at of illusion and what is real and what is not real. And the Capricorn, the Pluto in Capricorn, has been joined by Saturn in Capricorn for the next 2 years. So it's really going to intensify, because the Capricorn energy really wants to know what is real and what's not real. And then
what are your priorities?
Right. And then you take that. It's great for building a foundation. It's great for building. It's the ultimate building concrete energy, you know, putting one foot in front of the other to create a structure and a framework for our lives. But in the meantime, we have Neptune hovering in its own sign of Pisces, and both of these have to do with illusion,
Yes.
delusion, disillusionment. And so it's very important to keep an eye on that because, it's Neptune and Pisces are inspiration, they're dreams. So it's great for building your dreams if you can pair the two together, rather than getting sucked into the fear of the illusion that sometimes Neptune spins. And there's a lot of, in the media, there's a lot of illusion being spun right now.
Yes. Yes. Wow.
So attachment, you want to be careful what you get attached to and practice detachment as much as possible.
Accepting the way things flow to you.
Right. That's really the big lesson of the water signs is flowing with what comes. I had a yoga teacher one year, one class that said, if you do nothing about 90% of what crosses your path, it will go away, it will dissolve. And, I've really tried to take that to heart over time, especially raising children, because, a crisis that can be so immediate one day is like completely a non-issue in the next moment. So, and often that's the same case in our lives. And so yes, Neptune in Pisces right now, in its own sign of Pisces, is trying to teach us to just go with the flow, to let go and let God, to trust and to believe. And that's, even if you're not a spiritual person, you do have a spirit inside of you. And so believing in that, your own personal spirit, and trusting your inner guidance mechanism.
Wow. So do you have any suggestions for how people can kind of get in touch with their inner guide?
I'm a big fan of water and music and nature. So, and I'm definitely in this day and age of technology to switch off technology and go outside and talk to your neighbor, walk through the woods, play with animals, and spend a portion of your day just focused on you and not necessarily your friends, your partner, your children, your family, your coworkers, all of that. It's imperative to dial it back, even for 20 minutes to a half an hour, if you can manage it each day, whether it's beginning, middle, or end. There's an office complex near my house, and it borders on the edge of the woods. And often when I'm walking my dog through there, the office workers will be out at various times of the day, not just during lunchtime, but they'll be taking walks in the woods. And this is a high-tech company. And, I just think what a gift for these employees to be able to leave their office space during the day at whatever point, if they've had a particularly challenging meeting or stressful situation at work, to just walk out the door and walk through this beautiful wooded path around a lake and come back and have a completely different perspective, or at least just a pause, able to hit the pause button. So that's my biggest suggestion. And, being near water, in water, hydrotherapy is really good for everybody, to cleanse the gouge away. And also listening to music, whether it's in the car, singing at the top of your lungs by yourself, or, singing to your children, even if you think you don't have a good voice. They still want to hear mommy or daddy's voice.
That's beautiful. Oh, Hilary, thank you. That was really, really valuable. And I know I swear by the daily practice. I would not be, In fact, yesterday I skipped my yoga in the morning and I was like, you know what, I'll do it later. I
Mhm.
was a bear. I was not myself. I was yelling at my kids all morning.
Yeah.
And it's funny, and I had to. I'm glad I made the mistake of skipping it because it showed me just how powerful these past 6 months have been with this daily practice. So,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. So, Hilary, I know that the audience, we can get in touch with you at your website. So, Hilary, Hilary, Harley,
Yep.
Harley.com.
Yep.
And then we'll be seeing you this Sunday at the Healthy Living Expo, and then again at Spirit Fest in July.
Yes. I'm so excited to do Spirit Fest too. That's right after my birthday, and I feel like it's a big
Perfect.
birthday gift for me to participate in that as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. So that will be in Pembroke. I believe, what is it, the 18th, 19th, or 17th, 18th?
Yeah, it's the 18th, 19th, I
Yeah.
think, and it's
Awesome.
Pembroke Country Club on Elm Street.
Beautiful. So definitely, check out Hilary's website, get her monthly blog. I know I'm so excited to get that. And then come and see her speak this Sunday at the Healthy Living Expo.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me,
Thank you
Colleen.
so much, Hilary. I really appreciate your time.
All right. Take
Bye-bye.
care.